Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, and this is episode one of One Day at a Time, a podcast where we try not to feel overwhelmed, but we still get through our day. You feel me? I'm gonna be your host for this 21 part series. You feel me? If anything y'all want to talk about or any comments or anything, man, please comment. You know what I'm saying? The more comments, I will be answering all comments for this podcast, man. Please believe me. First off, I am Marcus Payne. I am from Baltimore, Maryland. You know what I'm saying? I will be, God willing, this November, 48 years old, and I'm a content creator. I came on to TikTok about 4 years ago. I'll say more like 3 years ago. And I was all over the place. I was learning, you know what I'm saying, just in a new system, not really knowing what was going on. Did a lot of shock value stuff. And then, lost my page. And then I started a new page. The new page became more so mental health. I deal with it. I was inspired by a TikToker, it's 40 Mo, that he inspired me to start my journey on mental health. So I appreciate Yo for that. Today, man, is just now, years later, not knowing that I will be doing podcasts. I never thought that it would be an OR, you heard me, or men's or women's mental health, but here we are, you know. You know what I'm saying? The process is about progress, It's never about perfection. That's something that I'm going to be talking about a lot. It's not about being perfect, man. It's about seeing your progress. You know, I got started doing this because, like I say, I suffer from it before social media. I used to write a lot. I used to write rhymes, poems, and movies and all kind of stuff, just to get these thoughts and stuff out of my head because I know how hard it is for you when you hold these thoughts in your head and you try to suppress them and you never know when it's going to come back and hit you. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to feel like a burden on somebody. So I try to find ways to get through my day. So when I'm talking to people, I don't feel like I'm trauma dumping, you know? And I'm not saying that, ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? When you got people that you can trust and you can talk to. But some of these situations that we go through, they're best, these are roads best traveled by yourself. So sometimes you got to do the work on yourself. It's cool to have help, but you know what I'm saying, you got to look within yourself. So that's pretty much what I'm doing with this podcast. I'm looking into myself. I'm being an open book. These topics and everything that I'm gonna be talking about, it's like I'm at a point where people are gonna feel how they're gonna feel, but I'm gonna speak what's on my mind. You know. So what you really need to expect from me is transparency. This pod is about transparency from my point of view. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm gonna be honest. Some things people might like, some things people might not like, but it's gonna be what it's gonna be. You feel me? I can't. It can't be no other way. You know. Um, I'm hoping that y'all gravitate to this. Y'all feel comfortable with me and sharing because honestly, I gotta be comfortable for me to share with y'all. So whenever I sit down, you see me sitting down on them steps, just know we gonna take this one day at a time. I appreciate y'all and everybody that's been supporting and a part of what I'm doing. This will not be the only series. After this series, there will be trust the process. And by the end of this, you're gonna understand why I'm saying trust the process after one day at a time. But for the first episode, man, this one's going to be short. I just wanted to, get to the point. I appreciate y'all listening, man, and I catch y'all episode 2. Or there is nothing wrong with you. When was the last time you told yourself that you were not enough? A lot of us, including myself, believe that there's something wrong with us, but it's not true. We're going to talk about that on this episode of One Day at a Time. I am your host, Marcus for President, and we're going to talk about it. Now, in understanding yourself, you got to understand that that voice inside of you, that inner voice or that inner critic, that's what's telling you that you're not good enough. That's what's telling you you won't be loved. That's what's telling you every negative thing you could possibly think about yourself. And this behavior, it's not, it's not natural. It's learned. You learn this through situations with your family, maybe the culture that you come from, and maybe even experiences that you go through. You know, the thing to understand is the critic's goal is to always keep you doubting yourself. You got to stop doubting yourself. Now, your first step is understanding when the critic speaks. You know, you got to have awareness to create space. Like, you don't have to believe every thought just because you're thinking it. You know, you kind of got to look at yourself and be like, is this my voice anyway? Is this me talking about myself? You got to know that self hate will never be solved with self hate, right? Two negatives is never going to create a positive. You got to be compassionate, and be kind with yourself. It's going to happen within. This whole battle that we having is within. You got to encourage speaking to yourself like you will be speaking to your best friend. You don't have nothing to hide. Now, some people may like journaling. You know, I used to write. I used to write poems and rhymes and things. You know, it helped me get my thoughts out, and I felt better about things. You know, I would say words of affirmation. I think that if you're really thinking bad about yourself, you got to start speaking these good thoughts into your head to build yourself back up. You know, you gotta you gotta have a dialogue with yourself without judgment. You can't you can't be hard on yourself. You got to give yourself grace. A lot of us don't do that, you know, and I don't understand like why we don't give ourselves grace. I mean, I'm speaking to myself as I'm speaking to you, or as Saray would say, as I talk to you, I talk to myself. You know, it's almost like as soon as you had that bad thought, it's like before you react, you gotta breathe and reset. You know, like breathe and reset. You don't need to be fixed. You only need to remember who you are. Be compassionate with yourself. Man. Don't don't be hard on yourself. You know, the journey isn't about becoming worthy. It's about recognizing that you always were. You know.